Okay, we're ready for math section 10.8, working with negative fractions. This is a very short lesson and it's very, very simple. So you should do very well on this. Okay, so far we've looked at fractions that have negative signs in front of them. Like right here in the middle of your page there on 212, right underneath where it says 10.8, for example, negative half means the opposite of half. And how to solve problems then with a negative half. We looked at that and there's you an example right there. Now, but what happens if there's a negative sign within the fraction? For example, consider negative 200 fifths. In that one, that negative sign does not go for the whole fraction, but it goes only for that top number. Well, remember that, let me write this up here. Woo! This is what they have. Okay, so it's not out here, it's talking about just this. Remember, this is nothing but division. Remember, fractions are division. So all you do is you write it out like a division problem. And remember that little chart on page 209 that shows you, so you know your answer is going to be a negative. Okay, remember how that works? So your answer then would be negative 40. Okay, remember that's all it is. That's all you got to remember. Okay, so then it says, it goes on, all you do is whenever there's a fraction that's got a negative sign in front of just one of the numbers, just treat it like it's division. Don't let that fool you. Okay, now what if by chance, look at the top of page 213, what if by chance not only do you have a negative number within the fraction, but you also have a negative fraction? Well, it just means the opposite of negative 200 divided by 5. Well, we know that negative 200 divided by 5 is negative 40, so the opposite of that would be positive 40. And there's your equation right there at the top of 213. Okay, they ended up putting negative 40, which equals 40. Remember how we learned that? Negative, positive, it goes back and forth. Don't let those negatives fool you. Don't let you look at those and go, oh, I don't know what to do. Just remember, it just means opposite of. And you just start with negative and count how many you have and just keep going up. Okay, the same principles for working with negative whole numbers apply to fractions that contain negative numbers. Remember, fractions are just a way of representing division. So as we continue to study math, we're going to find that concepts keep building upon another. The basic principles of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division are the core ways of describing the consistencies that God created and sustains. Upper math just keeps applying those same principles to more advanced situations. All right, look at your worksheet. It's worksheet 10.8. It's going to be front and back. Some of it's skill sharpening on the back. So I'm not going to grade it. Actually, no, I'm not going to grade this page. I'm going to take a little pressure off of you today, but I do want you to do front and back. It should be very simple. It's just going over it's division, and you're using negative numbers. That's all it is. Don't let that scare you. Just remember what we've done with fractions and dividing and that kind of stuff, and just keep that in mind. So I won't grade any of 10.8. So I have to write this down so I don't forget. So anyway, if you need help, either rewatch the lesson or read back over this section 10.8 or 10.7, or let me know and I'll be happy to walk with you through these. I want to see how you can do on your own. All right, that's all for today.